Good now. Somehow it's already 10:10. When did that happen? Who do I have? Beatrice. Good now, love. It's the only bubble I see. The other ones hadn't popped in yet. Let me see. Maybe my screen isn't good. Wide enough. How are you feeling? First time here? Awesome sauce. Where we are reading Seed of the Soul. And we're in chapter 5. However, why is it not? Oh, I know why. Good now, Hale. You can catch up with it if you want to hear what chapters 1 through 4 were about. You can catch the replays on my YouTube channel. But let's see. I can tell you the chapter names, and I can tell you what we spoke about. But welcome. I'm glad you're here. All right, chapter 1. Hold on, I got so many windows. Chapter 1, we talked about evolution, then karma, then reverence, then heart, and today we are talking about intuition. Well, we're reading through, and then we'll talk about. And of course, any questions that you may have, feel free. Good now, Justin. Good now, Jamie. Who else has popped in? Joanie. Good now, love. That's such a cool picture. Looks so chill. So welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Now I'll give it a few minutes. I know there's always a lot going on the app, and it's so easy to go space to space. See, this is when I say room, Justin, like Clubhouse, from room to room. This is an interesting thing. Perfect. Something trying to uncover, it disappeared. Your intuition? It didn't disappear. I know what you're saying, though. It can definitely, it's a muscle. It is definitely a muscle that requires use and self-trust. Yes. Good now, Jamie. So I'm glad you're here. Good now, soul. That's funny. It's so, I love when people just pop in like on certain days, and it's the message that they needed to hear. Because there's definitely nothing in the title, really, I don't think, that that tells you what we're talking about. So I'm here at the right place at the right time. So good deal. Good now, soul. Back to our regular time. Last week was early, week before was earlier. How's everyone's weekend going so far? How are y'all? What's new? What's good? What can we celebrate? What can we support? Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Absolutely. Good now, Marjorie. Abso-stankin'-lutely. Then we'll be back here at 4:44. Happy Lionsgate, you too. It's going well so far. Excellent. Hello. Good. Super busy. Fat, dumb, and happy. I love it. Facts. Excellent. Already went to take a swim this morning. Felt great. I bet. Good now, Natalia. This sounds like a perfect way to start a day. Like, I'm not a swimmer, although I will say, now I get nauseous when I swim, which is not cool. I gotta figure that out. There's an energetic piece to that I need to clear out. Good now, Lori. Good now. Welcome in. Just give it a couple more seconds, then we'll hop into the book. For those joining for the first time, well, you can see it on the screen. We are reading The Seed of the Soul. Today we are on chapter 5, Intuition. And so I'll read through it. I will any commentary that comes to mind is usually just spirit, like bringing something to mind to share. So I will share that, and we'll just keep going through it, and then we'll go through the study guide at the end, have questions, anything that we feel like, any friction that comes up, any like, I don't know about that. No worries. You wanted to feel the energy for a bit? Well, welcome in. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Yes, we have our 1 p.m. integration call. Yes. Good now, V. Well, I'm glad you're soaking up the energy of the space for sure. All right, we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. That's what I'm here for. Not as an expert, but as in someone who's experienced some things. And plus, everyone is welcome to ask questions. The only thing I ask is that we don't tell people what they need to do. Share your experience, but don't tell them what they need to do this or that or the other. Good now, Indy. Share your experience. All right. Intuition. The central perception of the multisensory human is that he or she is not alone. If anyone is new to this book, he covers the multisensory versus 5-sensory human in the very beginning. So if this makes no sense to you, I'm happy to go over it quickly. Good now, Amy. But I will continue. The multisensory human does not need to rely solely upon his or her own perceptions and interpretations of events for guidance, because he or she is in conscious communication with other, more advanced intelligences. This does not mean that the multisensory human is relieved thereby from choosing in each instant the course of his or her life, but it does mean that the multisensory human has conscious access to compassionate and impersonable help in the analysis of his or her possible choices, their probable consequences, and in the exploration of the different parts of himself or herself. The 5-sensory human is not alone either, but the 5-sensory human is not aware of the assistance that is continually being given to him or her, and therefore cannot draw upon that assistance consciously. Well, I don't need to explain the difference. That's pretty much it right there. The 5-sensory human must learn primarily through his or her physical experiences, and this learning takes longer because lessons that are learned in this way must come through the density of physical matter. A person needs to learn the lesson of trust, for example, will experience a distrust of others. This distrust will create misunderstandings, and these will lead to tensions and unpleasant experiences. A 5-sensory human will continue to experience the unpleasantness that results from his or her distrust of others until, in this lifetime or another, he or she realizes through interactions with others the source of this unpleasantness and takes steps to change it. If a person is not able to trust, for example, he or she will interpret erroneously the words and actions of others. If a wife tells her husband that she must attend a business meeting, although she would like to be with him, and if her husband is unable to trust, he may take her meaning as a rejection or as a signal that her work is more important to her than he is. This misunderstanding results from his inability to accept what his wife has told him, from his inability to trust her. As the wife continually experiences her husband's misunderstandings, they generate within her feelings of surprise, sorrow, frustration, anger, resentment, and eventually the rejection that her husband mistakenly perceived. Thus, the husband, through the dynamic of distrust, creates his most significant fear. Good now, Karen Q. Good now, Stephanie. Who else has popped in? April. Good now, love. Who do I miss? Oh, Denise. Good now, love. The loss of a mate or a friend or a colleague through distrust is not a punishment for distrustfulness. It is the result of refusing to look consciously within oneself at the issue of trust. It is an experience that results from choosing repeatedly to distrust instead of to trust. A distrustful person will create unpleasant or painful situations until, at last, they bring him or her to the issue of trust. This may take 5 painful experiences or 5 lifetimes of painful experiences or 50, but eventually this path will lead to and through the great lesson of trust. They inadvertently created the result they tried to avoid. Yep. The same dynamic applies to every personality characteristic that is not an expression of compassion and harmony. An angry personality, for example, will create unpleasant or even tragic situations until its anger is faced and removed as a block to its compassion and love, to the energy of the soul. The same is true for greedy personalities, selfish personalities, manipulating personalities, and so forth. This is the way that we have evolved until now. Until now. Good now, Martin. Would you be able to run? Oh, yes, I can turn it off. I know it can be distracting. Some people like it, some people so. We'll turn it off. That's not a problem. Good now, Gina. The multisensory human, wait, did I say that right? Yep. The multisensory human can learn more rapidly than a five-sensory human. With the help that is available to it, the multisensory personality can understand more quickly the meaning of its experiences, how they come into being, what they represent, and its role in creating them. It does not need to experience 12 or 20 or 200 painful experiences to learn a major lesson of trust or responsibility or humbleness. Of course, I understand, love. No problem. This does not necessarily mean that multisensory personalities do not experience painful situations, but that they have the capability of learning more quickly from them than five-sensory personalities, and therefore are more quickly able to choose more wisely and with more compassion. It is not necessary to be capable of voice-to-voice communication, so to speak, to be able to draw upon the resources of guidance and assistance that surround you. This way is available to the advanced multisensory human, but the road to that ability is a joyful one of developing. Why did I say but? Joyful one of developing an awareness that wise and compassionate guidance is always available to you, and learning to incorporate it consciously into your life. How does this happen? The five-sensory personality accepts every impulse and insight as his or her own, as originating within his or her psyche. The multisensory personality knows that this is not always the case. Impulses, hunches, sudden insights, and subtle insights have assisted us on our evolutionary path since the origin of our species. That we have not recognized the guidance that has come to us in this way is a consequence of seeing reality through only five senses. From the five-sensory point of view, there is no other place from which insights and hunches can come. From the multisensory point of view, insights, intuitions, hunches, and inspirations are messages from the soul or from advanced intelligences that assist the soul on its evolutionary journey. The multisensory personality, therefore, honors intuition in a way that the five-sensory personality does not. To the five-sensory personality, intuitions are curiosities. To the multisensory personality, they are promptings from and links to a perspective of greater comprehension and compassion than its own. To the five-sensory personality, intuitive insights or hunches occur unpredictably and cannot be counted upon. To the multisensory personality, intuitive insights are registrations within its consciousness of a loving guidance that is continually assisting and supporting its growth. Therefore, the multisensory personality strives to increase its awareness of this guidance. The first step to this is becoming aware of what you are feeling. Following your feelings will lead you to their source. Only through emotions can you encounter the force field of your own soul. That is the human passage in a word. The husband who was not able to trust, for example, may have felt anger or shame or resentment or coldness towards his wife when she told him her business appointment. If he had been able to experience his feelings consciously, to detach from them, to observe them as energy currents running through his system, he would have been able to ask himself, why does the news of this business meeting affect me in this way? This would have allowed him to discover that his feelings were reflecting a sense of rejection or of being less important to his wife than her meeting. If he then had reviewed his wife's message, he would have seen that she told him that she would have preferred to be with him but could not. This would have allowed him to ask, then why do I still feel so disturbed? And this would have led him to the answer, because I do not trust that she actually would prefer to be with me. In this way, becoming aware of his feelings rather than unconsciously acting them out would have led him to this issue of trust. Having unearthed so much, he then could have asked himself, does my experience with my wife support the suspicion that she is not being honest with me? If the answer to the question had been, No, my experience is that she is a person of integrity. The husband could have come to see that the dynamic with the dynamic in motion within him did not relate to his wife, although her words triggered it. It would have allowed him to see the actual intention of his wife, and his feelings toward her would have softened. Her response to him would have been one of closeness toward a loving husband instead of hurt caused by the rejection of her intimacy by a hostile husband. Had he followed this course, he would not have had to ruin this afternoon or his marriage. He would have been able to learn from his emotions and his questions about them the same lesson that he eventually would learn through the unpleasant experiences that resulted from his lack of trust. That part. He would have been able to see within the framework of one instance the effects of distrust and the effects of trust. Each question that a person asks, such as, why does the news of this business meeting affect me this way? Why do I feel so disturbed? And does my experience support my suspicion, invokes guidance. Every time you ask for guidance, you receive it. Every time you ask yourself, what is my motivation? You ask the universe, help me to see. And help comes. You may not always be capable of hearing the answers to your questions when you ask them, and the answers may not always come in the ways that you expect, but they always come. Sometimes an answer occurs in the form of a feeling, a yes feeling or a no feeling. Sometimes in the form of a memory or a thought that, at the time, seems random. Sometimes in a dream, sometimes in the form of a realization that is prompted by an experience that will occur the next day. Good now, Aaron. No question is unheard, and no question goes unanswered. Ask and you shall receive is the rule, but you must learn how to ask and how to receive. The intellect is meant to expand perceptions, to help you grow in perceptual growth and complexity, and not to do harm. The experiences of the intellect are experiences of knowledge. Knowledge is power, and for each level of knowledge, you are held responsible for how you use it. That's why Maharishi always says knowledge is structured in consciousness. The more consciousness, which is what that demonstrated, those questions that he asked shows an expansion of consciousness, which gives you more choices. Good now, Angela. So that's what that means. Knowledge that simply comes into your being and does not in some way or form become processed and used to the benefit of others can have a seriously detrimental effect upon your body. Karmic obligations that are created by deliberate misuse of knowledge, by knowingly harming or creating discord in another, or greater than those that are created in ignorance. I feel like that sentence didn't read right, but you got the point. In a world that understands power as external, the intellect often functions without the compassionate influence of the heart. This creates situations in which intellectual power is used as a weapon to harm others, to exert willpower without tenderness. When the intellect is used to design or develop or produce weapons, for example, it is not being used as it was intended. When an industry or a plant is designed to built up or operated without consideration for its effects on the earth, upon human life, and upon the environment, the intellect is not being used as it was intended. When you plan to profit at another person's expense, you are not using your intellect as it was intended. In a world of 5 sensory humans that understand power as external, intuitive knowledge is not regarded as knowledge, and therefore it is not processed. It sounds like I need water. Gotta love the body in all of its expressions. Let me turn this off too. Okay. It is not submitted to the intellect. It is not expanded or studied or made technical or disciplined. Just as we were taught to develop and employ cognition, to think things through, so too can we learn to develop and employ intuition, to ask for guidance and to receive it. Good now, Amanda. Amanda's on the tubular in case y'all are looking like, where's there Amanda? Good now, Jen. Just as there are technologies to discipline the mind, such as analytical thinking, studying, repetition, and respect for the mechanism, so too are there techniques to engage and discipline the intuition. The first of these is to honor emotional cleansing at all times. If you are emotionally blocked and you cannot or do not know what you feel, or if you have blocked what you feel so effectively that you become emotionless, you become a negative person, and you also create a you create a physically diseased body. By keeping your emotions clear, emotional negativity does not reside in you, and you become lighter and lighter. This opens your intuition track because it allows you a clear sense of loving. It brings you closer to unconditional love and renders you harmless. Okay, give me 1 second. I have my heater on because I'm always cold, but right now I'm not cold. So I'm going to turn this off. And okay. Usually I'm chilly, but right now I'm not chilly. So, okay, I'm back in full swing. This opens your intuitive track because it allows you to clear a sense of loving. It brings you closer to unconditional love and renders you harmless. It lightens the quality of your frequency, so to speak, and therefore the guidance that you receive is clear and unobstructed as it enters your system. This explains the ease so well, the ease clearing. This requires that you clear yourself each day of your emotional impacts. Just as you dispose of your physical body wastes and toxins, so too dispose of your emotional wastes and toxins by finishing emotionally unfinished business, by not going to bed in anger, by seeing that you do not feel contaminated emotionally, and by learning to work with and to honor your emotional currents of energy. The second is a cleansing nutritional program. Being physically toxic interferes with intuition. The third is to honor the guidance that you receive. Emotional and physical cleansing leads to intuition, and this leads to learning to respond. You must be willing to hear what your intuition says and act accordingly. Many people do not wish to hear what can be heard so easily, and therefore they deny that they hear anything. The fourth is to allow yourself an orientation of openness towards your life and the universe, to approach the questions in your life with a sense of faith and trust that there is a reason for all that is happening, and that reason, at its heart, is always compassionate and good. This is an essential thought that needs to be in place in order to activate and cultivate intuition. What is intuition and how does it work? Intuition is perception beyond the physical senses that is meant to assist you. It is that sensory system which operates without data from the five senses. Your intuitional system is a part of your incarnation. When you leave your body, you will leave behind the intuitional system that was developed for you, as you will leave behind your personality because it will no longer be necessary. Intuition serves many purposes. Intuition serves survival. It prompts you to pursue that which has no apparent reason in order to survive. Hunches about danger, for example, about what is risky and what is not, about what street is safe to walk down and which is not, about checking the car under the hood, help you to remain in the physical world. Intuition serves creativity. It tells you what to look for. It tells you what book to buy for your project. It tells you where to meet the colleague that you need to meet, and which ideas from one field will complement which ideas from another. I've been seeing that a lot. It is the hunch that a certain painting should be done in gray and that another should be done in purple. It is the sense that an idea that has never been tried before might work. Intuition serves inspiration. It is the sudden answer to a question. It is the meaning that takes form in the fog of confusion. It is the light that comes to the darkness. It is the presence of the divine. Intuition can be thought of as a type of wiring that can be used by various sources. One of these sources is the soul. Intuition is a walkie-talkie, so to speak, between the personality and the soul. This happens through the higher self. The higher self is the connecting link when the soul speaks to its personality. It is the dialogue between the personality and its immortal self. The personality soul communication is the higher self experience, but the personality does not communicate with the fullness of its soul. All of the energy of the soul does not incarnate. To incarnate, the soul creates a personality from those parts of itself it wants to heal in the physical environment, and from those parts of itself that it lends to the process of healing in that lifetime. That's funny. That's kind of what I just read. Justin says intuition sounds like a collection of your past lives' evidence collected. It's partly, I think it's part of that. So powerful is the energy of the soul that it could not advance into the physical form without literally exploding that form. In the creation of a personality, the soul calibrates parts of itself, reduces parts of itself to take on human experience. Your higher self is that aspect of your soul that is in you, but it is not the fullness of your soul. It is a smaller soul self. Therefore, higher self is another term for soul, yet the soul is more than the higher self. Picture a cup, a gallon, and a water tank. The water tank is the soul. An aspect of the soul becomes a gallon. The gallon of the soul, that gallon is still soul, but not the fullness of the soul. It is that part of the soul that is on a mission, so to speak. The personality is the cup. The cup contacts the gallon, the higher self, soul, but not the full-bodied water tank. Communication between the personality and its soul is an in-house, intuitive process. It is a process that is organic to your own internal system. For example, decision-making, which is your process, can be an intuitive process in which you pull data from your mind, your heart, and your intuition, relying upon the guidance of your higher self. Each of these sources is part of your own system of energy. Your personality and your higher self are your soul. Intuition also can permit the personality, through its higher self, to receive information from other souls of higher process, souls that are not its own soul. Sources of guidance other than your own higher self can come across on the same radio station, so to speak. This is not the same as an intuitive process. This is a process of receiving guidance through intuitive channels. Receiving information through intuitive channels is significantly different from receiving information through intuitive process. Receiving information through intuitive process is cooking at home. Receiving information through intuitive channels is ordering out. The guidance that the multisensory human receives through intuitive processes and through intuitive channels is as essential for his or her well-being and growth as sunshine and clean air. Through his or her intuition, the multisensory human comes to understand and to experience truth consciously. What is truth? Truth is that which does not contaminate you, but empowers you. Therefore, there are degrees of truth, but generically, truth is that which can do no harm. It cannot harm. Higher self connecting to non-physical teachers produces a level of truth that is true not just for you, but that would be true for anyone who came into contact with it. If you subtracted everything that is personal to you from the guidance that you receive through intuitive channels, there would remain a kernel of truth that would apply to others, or at least the presence of unconditional love, whereas much of the information that you receive through your own intuition process will be effective only for you. This is the difference between personal truth and impersonal truth. They are both truth, but personal truth is yours, and impersonal truth belongs to all that is, to each person. We need truth to grow in the same way that we need vitamins, affection, and love. At times, the truth that comes through intuitive processes or through intuitive channels can be contaminated with your own fear. Here is a place to apply your intellect. In other words, you might think that you're receiving a clear intuition, but if you examine it rationally, if you take it apart, you will be able to see that you are responding to an insecurity. Just as the question, does my experience with my wife support my suspicion? would have allowed the husband to see that the origin of his emotional response was an insecurity rather than an energy dynamic with his wife. Answers that come through your intuitive process or through intuitive channels may challenge what you would prefer to do. Your lower self, your personality, will not challenge but rationalize. It is natural to ascend to a level where you can learn to distinguish between the sources of guidance that you receive. The idea of being guided by truth that is received intuitively appears unusual to the five sensory personality. The psychology that has been constructed upon the experience of the five sensory personality does not even recognize intuition in the sense that it recognizes and studies and seeks to understand physical perception, affect, and cognition. To the multisensory personality, it is unusual not to rely upon truths that it receives from the higher self and, through its higher self, from souls that are more advanced. The personality is never separate from its soul, and the soul and its personalities are continually assisted and guided with impersonal compassion and wisdom. This is so for both the five sensory personality and the multisensory personality, but the five sensory personality is not aware of its soul or the guidance that it receives from its higher self and from more advanced souls. The multisensory personality is aware of its soul. It seeks to align itself with its soul to become the physical embodiment of its higher self, and it consciously invokes and receives the loving assistance of its own soul and of other souls that assist it. That is chapter 5. Any thoughts? Good now, Tatiana. You did not interrupt, love. I chase squirrels all over the place. Y'all met me. Good now. We have 2 Jamies here. Justin says, truth can do no harm. Very interesting. So does that mean truth to some degree can be subjective if we follow that train of thought? Can you get more clear about your question? If it's good now, Gina, good now, beautiful Nicole, and all you beauties, I love it. What it's saying is, so in the going back to the husband and distrust, the husband may have thought that what he was thinking was his truth or was the truth, but if he would have just dialed back and asked those questions, he would have realized that that wasn't the truth. Examine the emotions with intuition. Yeah. Without judgment. If you can take an observer role, that's the most helpful place to be. It takes practice to get there. I spent most of my life in 5 sensory mode. It wasn't until the last couple of years I didn't know I was multisensory, but now I have a term for it. So interesting, especially the idea that the personality is made up to allow the soul to learn what needs to be learned next. Yeah. I feel like that's pretty comforting, actually. It's like the universe is not against me. It's just this is what my soul came to learn. I mean, good now, Vanessa. Who else has popped in? Brother B, good now, love. Any other thoughts? And we can go to the study guide. That is in the Lettuce Fam doc, by the way. Good now, Helen P. Thanks to Natalia for reminding me to put it in there. Good now, Gretchen. Hello. Who else did I miss? Did I miss anyone else? Helen, good now, love. Karen, Moisey, good now, love. Good now, Danielle. So yeah, his truth was clearly creating harm, right? But if he would have really thought about the actual truth, it would have, more compassion would have come out. Good now, love. Maybe I'm looking at it from a broader perspective than personal relationships, but promises by people or pushing certain stances and not realizing their truth may hurt others or be detrimental. Yeah. So I mean, truth is not, if it's creating harm, it's their truth, but it's not the truth. You know what I mean? The truth is the universal. It can apply to anybody, but that what other people are doing in their truth, if it's creating harm, that is not the truth. That's not source truth. When I anticipate an upcoming confrontation coming, I begin my mantra, cause no pain, do no harm. This always helps me control my explosive side. I love that, Hale. Thank you. The different types of guidance being like cooking at home or takeout, right? Well, I get guidance all the time out, external guidance. Who needs to cook? I was kidding. Yeah, that was a good analogy. I also like the analogy of the water. The gallon is, you're the cup, and you contact the gallon every now and then. Can you fill me back up, please? We need some filling. But we don't really get to experience the fullness of our soul. So that when people are like, you don't know how vast you really are. You just put on this earth suit for a moment in time, but you are huge. You're vast. We don't get to experience it while we're wearing an earth suit. Subjectively sounds like personal truth and not impersonal truth. Yes, V. Thank you. I think that's what I was trying to say, but I did not say it as eloquently. So this is why I say, y'all, please tap in for sure. Good now, spiritual. All right, so we're going to go to the study guide. Actually, I'll pull it up in the document. Because it'll be easier to see. Apparently I had not been logged in. And I have to click yes on the phone. Yes, 'tis me. Okay. All right. Let me grab it. All right. So if you go to my profile, let me move those things out of the way. You can get to this document. It's the second link, I think. You'll just see a big old lettuce. And so if you scroll down to Seed of the Soul, chapter 5, and these are the study guide questions. Let me make this bigger. Can I make this bigger? Man, I can move this. All right. Still probably won't be able to see it, but you can get to this. It's an easy link. All right. So going back, do I need to move it over? Is it, y'all can see it okay? Good now. This is a timely teaching to find the story of the couple and the trust, mistrust responses. So much good info. Thank you. You're so welcome, love. Oh, Indy says, so with the personality, does that mean we are given our strengths to help us overcome our weaknesses? I would say, yes. I would say, I think I'm stuck on the term strengths and weaknesses. Because I'm like, who defines that? But if there are things that you wish or would like to be better in or get better at, you can definitely tap in to your soul and other channels of information intelligence. If I'm answering, am I answering what you're asking, Indy? Yes, can we see it on screen? Yes, you can. Okay. Thank you, Hale. Because I can't see it I see a big old, I'm on a laptop, so. Let me know, Indy, if I'm addressing what you're asking. And V says, I'm intrigued about using ease for emotional cleansing. What's intriguing? It definitely helps. Well, y'all have experienced it. You feel lighter afterwards, right? I know that my intuition it's skyrocketed. It's the combination, I believe, of my meditation, and then I do Clear on Me anytime I need clearing. Anytime I can catch it, anytime I can identify what the source of the emotion is. But we also read that book, Letting Go, before we started this book. So that is also another method, technically, of clearing emotional states as well. He walked you through how to use the letting go method, which is good if you don't know how to use ease yourself yet. And I'm not available, or, if we're working together, we can book a session. But the letting go method I think is a good alternative, at least if you can get to the heart of it. Sometimes what makes ease helpful is if you can't really put a finger on like where this is coming from. I'm pretty good at helping connect the dots and do the clearing around that. Justin says, I like that part about cleansing before sleep. Maybe I'm not completely clearing all the things that occurred that day and maybe causing trouble sleeping. It's very possible. We'll probably talk about that in September at the retreat. Hale says, yes, Justin, that's why I love bathing before bed. I envision all unfinished or negative energy going down the drain. I love that, Hale. I will need a short recap of the letting go method. I may message later. No problem, but you can also, I think it's like one of the first chapters in the book. Everything's on YouTube, on the tubular. So all the replays. And there is a playlist, like this has a playlist for it. Good now, Lorna. I love that idea, Hill. I know, right, Lori? Good now, Akari. Who else has popped in? Lauren, good now, love. Helen P, good now, love. Heather, good now, love. Phoebe, good now. Yeah. It's a good practice, right? A good thing to add. I'll usually shower before bed, or shower as soon as I get home to rinse the outside off. But yeah, that's a good practice. I like that, Hale. So each chapter has a study guide to it, and I captured the questions and put them on the Lattice Fam doc. And so because they are really deep, thought-provoking, action-oriented prompts, we don't really go over them here because we won't have time. And plus, you won't have the opportunity to actually take the things into practice. But I like to just, show them here. You can get them anytime, and just to get your wheels turning. So if you go back into your memory or into your creativity to find answers to these questions, if you're in a group, share your answers with spiritual partners, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so have you ever had sudden or surprising insights? Have you acted on those insights? What significant things happened because you acted? Or if you didn't act, what do you feel prevented you? If something comes to your mind while we're going through this, feel free to share it. We can have a conversation about it. But my mind process is a little slow, so it won't. I'll probably be like, oh yeah, I could have shared this. That's what happens a lot. Let me see. Indy says, Justin, I think it's chapter 2 of the book. You just let the feelings be there, focus on it, and relax your body. Let it do what it wants, but stay in the body and out of the mind and thoughts. Thank you, Indy. What she said. Number 2, have you ever been suddenly inspired by an idea, project, or possibility that was very meaningful to you or became very meaningful? Number 3, have you ever found yourself feeling compassion for someone who wronged you or others, even though you still do not like or approve of what he or she did? I can say yes for sure for that one. Have you ever had the thought that you have assistance or help that you cannot see, but that you can feel is present with you? Yes, Akari? Do you want to share? Are you answering number 3 or 4? For me, number 4 is happening a lot more, I'm noticing. Because what is cool about that, like I know the assistance is outside of me, is there's no ego in it. 3 and 4, would you like to share? I'd love to hear it if you're open. And I know I can't see chat bubbles, so feel free if you're typing, keep going, and then I'll read it once it pops up. Do the ideas that you are not alone do the ideas that you are not alone and that you can access loving guidance through your intuition appeal to you? Heck yeah. I can answer that right now. Absolutely. Anybody else? Here are some exercises. A daily practice for consulting intuition. Anytime you react to anything. I feel overwhelmed, too busy, don't have enough time. I'm sad, depressed, manic, impatient. I lost I lost my job, hate my boss, he or she disappointed me, betrayed me, cheated on me, etc. I feel inferior, invisible, unworthy. I am upset because my car broke down, flight got canceled. I feel entitled, superior, better than. Anytime you're experiencing those moments, ask yourself, what can I learn about myself from this reaction? How can I move beyond the control of this part of my personality that is reacting now? This reminds me of letting go as well. How can I change my perspective from frightened to loving? Listen for the answer. It will come. The key here is being able to catch yourself in that. I love how Eckhart Tolle is like, once you become aware, you're no longer unconscious. So you are living more consciously. Even if you don't catch it every single time, at least you're living more consciously when you become aware of your reactions. Are like, I don't know that was warranted. Or, what is this really about? What am I really mad at? That's why I did a track about anger, actually. It's on here. Because a lot of times we can find ourselves angry and we think we're angry at an external source, and it's really something internally that we have not addressed. All right, so that is that. And here's a life lesson. Each morning this week, set your intention to open to the support of intuition, support that is always there for you. Ask yourself questions that you want support with. Then listen for answers. They may come immediately or they may come later, but they will come. Some examples of questions you might ask are, how can I relate better with my son or daughter? How can I become aware of frightened parts of my personality sooner? How can I take responsibility sooner when I realize that I am in a power struggle? How can I best complete the project that I am confused about? How can I heal the frightened part of the personality that feels financially inadequate? What is the best way that I can speak with my mother-in-law, child, spouse, boss, boyfriend, neighbor, etc.? What can I learn from my experiences of overwhelm, anger, jealousy, overeating, etc.? I think what's cool is I never thought about, like, when I ask myself questions like this, that I'm actually reaching out beyond myself and listening for the answer. I have recognized that I am getting an answer. I hear it on the left side of me when it's not me. So if I ask a question and I feel like I'm hearing like myself and the left side, I'm like, I ask it again or in a different way because I'm conflicted, but it's pretty clear. Sometimes I'll write and it turns into automatic writing when I'm unclear about something as well. Write your questions down, ponder them, open yourself to answers. Notice the ways that intuitive understanding or insight comes to you, and open yourself to other ways as well. Listen to what you are saying when you speak and to what others are saying. Remember your dreams and meditate on them. At the end of the week, write down your answers to these questions. Do you feel that life lessons helped you to further develop your ability to use intuition? If so, share how. If not, ask your intuition how you can develop your ability to use intuition. Be patient. Your answer will come. What questions did you ask your intuition? What answers did you get? How did that support you? Write down the most significant thing you learned about yourself and your intuitive ability this week. Share this with someone who wants to open to their own intuitive guidance. And then life life lesson. Devote 2 days this week to following your intuition. If you cannot spend the whole day, find periods of time during a day or several days. Schedule it. Make appointments between you and your intuition. Write your experiences throughout the day, and at the end of the day, answer these questions in your journal. I must have missed those questions. Or I had something backwards. Yeah, I think this was supposed to come. I have to look at the book. What did I do wrong? Let's see. I thought I turned the page, but I must not have. Haha. Okay, hold on. I'll put these in a book, but I'll show them right now. That's hilarious. Gotta love being human. Okay. See if I can pull this down or over. Nope. Chapter 6. Oh, you know what? Okay, hold on. I'm learning as we go. Y'all always are learning with me. Appreciate it. Okay, here we go. I know it's probably still small, and I don't know how to get it centered on the screen. Okay. This is why I put it in the notebook. All right, so anyway, if you can't see it, I'll read it. When did you follow your intuition? When did you resist? Be specific. Did your intuition surprise you? What did you discover about yourself by following your intuition? And what were the most significant things you experiencing? Well, I can't say that word. Experimenting with your intuition. What were the most significant things you experienced experimenting with your intuition? My mouth did not want to say that. Like, what are you trying to say, Nicole? Y'all know I'm determined, right? I'm determined. Okay. I know it's not me when the answer is flawless and perfect for the situation. For sure. I love that V. Yes, yes, yes. I'm such a brat. I'm a brat. Okay. Anywho. Experimenting. It's try to say it, experimenting together. That threw my whole everything off. I was like, wait, what? Experimenting. What were the most significant things you experienced experimenting with your intuition? That was the sentence or the question. Good now, Jesse. All right. Were there any thoughts or questions or shares that anybody would like to? Playing with an 8-ball as a kid showed me early to trust my intuition. I love that, Hale. I never really, I played with them, but I didn't really think much of them. That's cool. Okay. Where am I? All right, here we go. So, any thoughts? You have some experimenting to do. I don't want to say homework because nobody likes homework. Good now, Pam. There are so many things to reflect on. So good. Thank you for this space, Nicole. You're so welcome. There are a lot to reflect. There are a lot of things to reflect on for sure. This chapter, if I would have read it like 7 or 8 years ago, I would have been like, wow, I never thought about it. But it's cool to see, where I am today compared to a while ago. But this book is new to me, so great chapter. Thank you for this time and space. You're so welcome. Any other comments, questions, anything that you were like, yeah, I don't know about that. I kind of want to push back. If not, if y'all are good to go, I'll schedule for next weekend. to do chapter 6, which is whatever chapter 6 is. Chapter 6 is light next week. Light. I want to read it. I want to read it right now. But yes, how are y'all feeling? What are you thinking? I know it's a lot to think and process, so I am not surprised that the chat is pretty quiet. Good now, Ruth Ann. I was like, I know there's another bubble I saw that I didn't say good now to. So much to ponder. Thank you. You're so welcome. And yeah, if for anyone who's like, who I will add the last part of the questions. If you go to my profile, go to About, click the link, you'll see a lettuce. That is that document. And just look for the tab that says the Seed of the Soul. If you're on mobile, the tab names will be displayed at the bottom. If you're on a computer, it'll be on the side like you saw when I pulled it up. So, I think y'all are good. It appears. You know what's cool? It says 444 gratitude hearts. That is crazy. Gratitude for the time as always. Still need to absorb what I learned. The truth can do no harm. Still stands out to me. May take a bit to mold into my psyche. I know, doesn't it? For those who are in the 444 Club, I will see y'all this evening at 444 Eastern. Justin, do you want to... What other questions are coming to mind if you want to discuss that before we hang up? If you're good, we can go. Anyone else? Are there any concepts here that have you pausing and pondering? Good now, Shanika. The karma chapter was the biggest one so far. That I think that one went long, and by long I just mean there was a lot of questions and pushback and discussion and insights on that one. So if you want to catch that replay, it's all of them on a tube. So if I have questions, I'll message in the group, but I think I'm good for now. Excellent. Yes, and thank you for bringing that up. I do have a group here on Insight Timer. So if any questions do come up between now and next week, feel free to put it in the group, or if you catch the replay on the tube and put comments in there, I will respond because I do have those notifications on. Akari says, I will definitely review this all a lot. It stirred up at me inside. I love that. I like it. Gotta plug it in. Yes. How are you able to build trust in our tuition when we've lost our own trust in it? When we've lost our own trust? Part of it is kind of what he shared earlier. Start asking questions and listening for the answer. That is intuition. So maybe just take that question, Helen, and say, how do I build my intuition? And just listen for an answer. And it may not show up like my answers I actually hear. I'm more clairaudient. But yours may show up in a way of someone calling you out of the blue. And they say something that like, oh, probably about intuition. You're like, that's how you can trust it. Like you'll be shown, and the answer may come right away, it may not. So I would challenge you. I don't like the word challenge. I would invite you to experiment with that, Helen. Ask that question, and see what comes up. See what you hear or experience. I keep saying hear because that's my primary way, but see what you experience. That gives you clues that the universe is holding you in a blanket and supporting you. And what else did he said? I also want to look at how he said it in the study guide. And y'all know me, you ask me a question, I'll ask you a question back, because my goal always is inner mastery. And it's not that I'm not trying to answer you. I want to give you things to ponder so that you can come to your own conclusion, because my experience is not your experience. And you're going to be the one that live with your experiences and your decisions. And so, So here, like the daily, good now, I like you. Um, the exercise, the daily practice for consulting intuition. So remember, he says, anytime you react to anything, ask yourself these questions. What can I learn about myself from this reaction? How can I move beyond the control of this part of my personality that is reacting? And how can I change my perspective from frightened to loving? So just those questions, those self evolution questions, really is what I call that. When you listen for the answer, that is intuition as well. I think we think that intuition is just us, but it, like he said, it can come through the intuitive process, but it can also come through other channels as well. So you're welcome, Helen. I want to hear how it goes for you. Hale says, there have been times when I need a reset, like going to a retreat or just changing your environment temporarily. Yeah. Good now, Silverback. Helen says, oh yes, it's my path, I understand. I'm just asking about what your experience. Oh, my experience. My bad. I misunderstood your question. My experience, especially most recently, is I have no words for it. I just, when I do something, it feels like I didn't make the decision. It feels like I'm being guided. And there's no way that's me. Because there's no ego behind it. It's just this neutral feeling of this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And suppose not in a way of, self-punishment like we tend to use the word suppose, but this is where I'm being guided and this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't know how else to say it. It's really hard to explain. It's definitely an experience type thing. You too, Silverback. It feels like a magnet. It does. I feel it in my heart gut rather than in my head. That's good, Akari. I love that. Yeah, recognizing where you experience your intuition guidance is also really cool. Mine, if I'm like just consulting my intuition, so to speak, then I will hear. But if I get an idea of, like, even the sleep retreat, that was definitely intuitive. I did not. It's like I don't know where that came from. And then all the activities that are just coming to me for what to do with the guests is going to be fun. It feels terribly uncomfortable sometimes as well. Would you like to share more about that? It can, if it feels like it goes against what you believe, what you've experienced. It can, if it feels like it's going to create some ruffles or ripples of waves that you don't want to create. It can sometimes be scary. And I think he even talks about that too. Like, how do I recognize when it's my intuition and not me, not fear talking? Why do you say that earlier in the chapter? Go back here. Why did he say that? I need to put the book back to the way it was, because while I don't have a perfect, how you call it, photographic memory, I can usually kind of remember where I saw something if it looked the same. I know it was on the right side of the page. I just don't know what page. How do you say it? Oh, I have to look for it. I might put it in the group so I don't hold y'all hostage. Not that I'm holding your hostage, because you could literally leave the app anytime, but you know what I mean. I have difficulty feeling my intuition when I'm tired, hungry, dehydrated, anytime I'm not taking care of my earth suit. Yep, and he talked about that too, right? He's like, nutrition, beautiful Hale, right? I know. He talked about having the proper nutrition, and of course, this is why sleep is a huge, huge thing. Yeah, I know I'm gonna like be hunting for this forever. Not forever, but until I find it. You'll be good. Silverback, you're a mess. What was I? Yes, and how to move a bit forward. Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to figure out what. Sometimes I can remember like the one word that stood out in a sentence and I can find it, but I'll find it. It just won't be right now. I put that quote in ChatGPT. Just curious what it would say. Did you get the answer? Or you? What did it say? And which quote, by the way? Good now, Liz. Silverback, you're a mess. I know. The book is not in the same way. That's why I can't find it. Because I see one paragraph that used to be on the right side and is not on the right side now. I'm so weird, I know, but it's okay. I appreciate it. Oh, I know how. Because this was... Whatever. I will find it. This is what it said back. Truth is an abstract fact is harmless as an abstract, but weaponized honesty can inflict deep emotional wounds. Interesting. Oh, you put truth can do no harm. It's definitely not talking about on a spiritual... I don't feel like that was on a spiritual level that it replied. But it is interesting, that response. Ask about universal truth. Because that's one of the things he said is like when someone is, when the truth comes, you can take that person away from that particular truth and it can apply to anybody. So that's how you know it's the actual truth. I would even make that truth a capital T truth as opposed to a little t truth. Little t is subjective. That is your personal truth. That's what you feel to be true for you. But if it can't apply to everyone, then it is literal. That's just you. That's your truth. Like the husband's truth was, she's not, in his mind, she's not, she just doesn't want to be with him. Gotta run like a bat out of hell. All right, hell. Run. I'll see you at 1. I think, Justin, stop thinking about it and it will just, you'll get it, especially after you meditate. On a spiritual level, that statement, truth can do no harm, is widely considered an absolute reality, but it requires a deeper definition of both truth and harm. For a spiritual lens, ultimate truth acts as medicine. It destroys the illusions of the ego to liberate the soul. How does that sit with you? Good now, MJ. I think you got that from chat, Silverback, but appreciate the love. Alike, I have a group here. I'm going to figure out what it is I was trying to point out. So I'll put it in a group when I find it. It was you? Okay. I ain't mad at it. You're welcome, sweetie. It was something about, I hear it in my head, and then it's just not coming through. Probably because I'm dehydrated. I can feel it. Usually when I've had enough water, I source will come through me and answer that question just fine. But right now, I'm like, I need water. Because I haven't had much water today. Okay. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? That's a good one, Justin, to ponder. I actually like plain. I prefer plain water without, sometimes with lemon, but more plain than that. Or salt. I do like salt in it. Sodium. But no, I was just curious what AI would say, but I think I understand what Gary is saying. But I was just curious hearing other perspectives. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Universal truth. Like gravity, that's truth. Like there's no, it doesn't just apply to you, it applies to everything, everybody. That's how I question some things for myself. I'm like, if I hear something or if I hear myself say something, I'm like, could that apply to everybody? And if not, then where is this coming from? Where is this thought coming from? Where is this belief coming from? How true is this truth? If it's not universally true, like I will tell you this, flu season, not everybody catches the flu. So if some people cannot catch the flu, does that mean I cannot catch the flu? Yes, it does. And I haven't had the flu in I have no idea how long. Years. So like stuff like that they feed us. Flu season, allergy season. I'm like, well, I know allergies a little bit different. There's some other things at play, but I'm like, why does it have to be a season? You know where I got that from? I know we're kind of going off a tangent, so if y'all need to hop, that's fine. Figure out how to write that out. What is it? Where did I get that from? Either Letting Go, maybe The Power of Now, one of those books. But it's basically like during the Great Depression. They're like, some people were able to have multiple jobs and some people had no jobs because they subscribed to the idea that jobs were hard to come by. And I'm like, that's an interesting stance. I don't think that was Letting Go though. That might have been, I don't know. I've read several books. I need to find that though, because I was like, that's an interesting perspective. It's like, if it doesn't apply to everybody, then that means it may not have to apply to me. So I could not subscribe to that, and let's see what happens if I don't subscribe. It's just a thought. Can't hurt. Doesn't mean you sit around and things just fall out of the air either. But yeah, that would be nice, but no. Then you would take it for granted because you didn't do something for it. At least something. At least lift a finger. Anywho. Okay, for real. Any thoughts, comments? And at this point, it could be about anything. So, people who are ambidextrous, what about us? If you're born left-handed, you kind of have to become ambidextrous, especially with scissors. Anyway, I believe we have all had those moments we forgot and misdemean ourselves, perhaps. It's possible. Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, I haven't had the flu either. You don't need to knock on wood. You just don't subscribe. It's very possible. I feel like there's a greater chance that that's possible, but because I have not run a study, I can't say. But given that most of our parents raised us unconsciously, it's nowadays we may have more conscious parenting, like very conscious of how things impact the human But when I was growing up, that was not a thing. That was not a thing. So, yeah. As I'm studying, of course, brains. So I'm getting the just a certification in neuroscience, and he was talking about memory. This is just about memory in general. He's like, if you feel that your memory is declining, don't feel bad about it. Don't talk bad about it or something. He's like, that makes it harder for you to train your memory. So basically, negative words, negative thoughts about yourself makes a lot of things harder to accomplish. I mean, we know that like from some standpoints, but if you like just increasing your memory, just even thinking bad about having like why I wish I had better memory, things like that makes it harder for you to improve your memory. So that's what your comment also reminded me of. All right, very good. Good to go for this week. For anyone who's joins me back at 4:44 p.m. Eastern, I will see you then. Any of the people who are at the retreat, I'll see you at 1. This is a day filled with, that was so nice. Good, I'm glad, Akari. 444, yes. Although now the hearts are up, but yes, you'll be at the 444. It's the last day. It's the final findings day of this week-long experiment we've been doing. I'm excited to hear what has transpired. I know Hale has a lot. She's like, I've been capturing a lot in my field journal. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. Thank you, Silverback. You're welcome. All right, beloveds. Well, I am celebrating you. You missed the music. I get it. I understand how it can be distracting. There's multiple types of learners, but I'm good with either. I could do either. Just reminds me how quiet it is in my house, and actually it's quiet outside. Like there's no cars or anything. It's kind of cool. Justine, good now. Interesting in speaking about book week, Nicole. I see you have a book. Oh, me, I've co-authored a couple of books. I don't have my own just yet, but yes, I have co-authored a couple of them. 2, 3, I think 3. Yeah, 3. Just a chapter. But thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I think I put all of our, if anyone else has a book, I'll put your book in our Let Us Fam document as well. Hold on. Let me bring this back up. If I can find here we go. I wish this let you choose the screen before you displayed it. Okay, so if you go to our Let Us Fam doc, you see Let Us Fam authors. So Natalia, who was in here, her book just came out. Pam has a couple books. And we have another Let Us Fam member, who has a book. So if you have a book, you've also done that and narrate. You narrate too? You can message me, you can DM me and add that. I love that you've done narrations. Have you done them from Amazon, Jesus Christ. I need to eat. Amazon, have you done those, or just people you know? That's cool. I started narrating Natalia's book, Audible. Yeah. I have an account. I auditioned once, but they had already chosen someone. I just wanted to see what the audition process looked like. That's cool. Yeah, I wanted to see what it was like. So I auditioned for a book that I already knew that they chose. Yes, just send me a DM. As a teacher profile, I can't send you a DM. I have no idea. Does anyone know? If you go to my profile, I think you should see like message teacher or something like that. I think that's how you can message me. But yeah. So if anyone else has a book, please please let me know. I'll add it to here. But yeah, this document is free. You can find this in my profile. It just comes from everyone's inputs from other things and whatnot. So, yeah. All right, where am I? Okay, all the buttons, all the screens. Okay. I was listening in the background and heard you audition for something. Oh, good now, Nisha. Yes, thank you, Stephanie. It was just to do a voiceover, to do a narration, audible audio narration for a book. I auditioned for a book. They had already chosen the narrator, but I was just experimenting with what the process looked like. And after just doing that, I was like, I don't know if I can sit here and read a whole book and keep the same tone throughout the entire book. I'm like, I could probably do short snippets, but then I gotta remember the type of energy I had when I read this chapter. I was like, you know what, I'm good. I may try again, but I just was like, that's a lot it definitely would take some practice. Was crackers, cottage cheese, in season, veggies, balsamic glaze, and some favorite seasonings. Nice snack if tolerated. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Scandinavian crackers. Where did that come from? That is cool. You would be a good narrator. Thank you. That's what you teach? Yeah, I've taken many. Yeah, it takes coaching. Yeah. I'm like, I'm good. My production company, I'm already going to be in another short film and a feature film. So I'm like, I don't need to do voice. I can just, you'll still get my voice. It just will have me with it. Exactly. Bringing same energy to each read is difficult. But yeah, listening to your voice would be lovely. Thank you, Anisha. For sure, Justine. What have you been in? My creative director is still doing the editing for our film, but we did a feature film last year. Well, we finished it up this year. And yeah, I was not the original. I was the production manager for it, and I accidentally got the lead female part because our lead, the female that had auditioned and gotten a part, she chose not to continue with the project, and so that's how how I ended up with the part. You have a film week coming up? Nice. Yeah, reach out. I'm actually in the middle of judging other people's films through the Alexandria Film Festival right now as well. I don't know if I'm the best judge. I can't do constructive criticism because I do still, like, if I have nothing nice to say, it's not really being mean. It's just, yeah, it's difficult because you know all the work that goes in. The film that we shot is called Couples Therapy. It's a thriller film. I'll let y'all know when it's out. We're working on how to show it virtually because I'm on East Coast, yes. So much of our folks are all over the place. So many of y'all are all over the place, including other countries. And so we are also going to do a virtual showing or viewing as well once we get it out. And we'll be able to use the ticket money from the virtual viewing to rent a full theater to do the in-person viewing. So y'all would help in so many ways. Your true review knows. You were right, Denise. I know. It's some of them, a couple of them, I'm like, I'm not a fan of the actors in this one. So it's like the characters were kind of, they weren't as believable as they probably could have been. But yeah. Greetings, Latika. Good now, love. Justin says, I always think about what would help improve something if some of the issues of the film are glaring. Yeah. I favor Halle Berry. Thank you, love. I'll take that as a compliment. I've actually didn't get Halle Berry. I usually get Tandy Newton a lot, especially when I had longer hair. I would get Tandy Newton. But, okay. We're just rambling at this point. We turned this into a Free Flow Friday, which is cool. Good thinking, Justin. I agree. Yeah. So that's what, I mean, I do plan on recording. I've got a couple of garden tracks on here. So I'm going to do nettle and dandelion. Will probably be my next two herbs. And I will be watching some movies over this weekend to do some grading. My sister and I were heavily involved with about 200 films. One made it through Netflix Strickers. I love that. Interesting process, right? Free Flow Saturday. That is cool. We should just have a conversation on movies. Should have now I want to make some popcorn. Let's have a conversation. And Justine, you could probably come on. One Sunday a month, I have a guest sharing tips about something to help people improve themselves. So if anyone, honestly, I haven't really. When I first did my podcast, it was solely around wellness practitioners because I was kind of building a directory of alternate health practitioners. And so that's who I was interviewing. But now I'm like, everybody has gone through something and made it on the other side and could share some tips. And people can relate. So that is what my conversations here once a month on a Sunday, usually the third Sunday of the month. I think I'm delinquent this one. I don't think I have scheduled something. But so if you would like to come on, I would love to have you. Yeah. And Lika, were you in the film or were you doing like production work, production team? What were you doing on that project? I'll be producing. I'll be a producer on one of them, on one of our films. Because my CEO was like, you got to do all of it. I'm like, all right, I'll try. See, I've not done that before, but I'm for it. So I'll keep y'all posted. All right, beloveds. It was producing in small theater showings to get it out. That's awesome. I love it. Enjoy the movie, watch-a-thon. Gotta bounce, everyone. Have a great day. You too, Justin. Thank you. Yeah, I will do that. That's really cool. I like it. I feel like I'm not saying your name correctly, Alike. Can you phonetically spell it so I can make sure I'm saying it correctly? Good now, Champa. Great live. Thanks, Nicole. You're so welcome, Helen Love. Alika, thank you. Thank you. And that goes for anyone in here. If I ever just say your name incorrectly, please do not hesitate to correct me because that I don't want to mess up the vibrational frequency that was intended. So thank you, Alika. I was like, there's 2 dots over the E. In my ignorant American self, I don't quite know how to pronounce that. So please help. Truani, thank you for the love. Never, you are so beautiful. Why, thank you, love. I receive. I'm just but a mirror. I'm but a mirror. But thank you. All right, lovebirds. No, that's not the right term, but I just felt like saying that. But I will say, beloved, celebrating you always. You know, I always close out with a celebration of you for consistently showing up and doing this work. It's not fun, it's not easy, but it's so very worth it. So thank you. You are helping me with my overarching goal, creating world peace through inner peace. Inner peace starts with doing this kind of work. So thank you. And with all that said, Jai Guru Dev, may you all create the most amazing now moments until I see you next time, making every moment count, because that is all we have, is this now moment right here. Right now. So thank you. Ciao for now. See you around. If you're here for 444 Club, I'll see you then. Otherwise, I'll see you around the app, whether it's in someone else's live or my own. Thank you for doing this work. I loved hanging out. You're welcome, Anisha. See you soon, sister. See you soon, Angela. Ciao for now. And for those who caught this on another platform or catch the replay, thank you. I'll see you next time.